So today we have a short talk about best practices for performance and troubleshooting in Percona using our Percona monitoring and management tool, so also known as PMM. And this talk will be presented by Michael Coburn, who will be join us a little bit later. And actually, I'm sorry that I probably have some mistakes or mixed and hard language, because I should be the second presenter, so let's try it. Michael is a product manager of Percona Monitoring and Management, and my name is Roma Novikov. I'm a director of platform engineering and actually the development manager of PMM. So I'm responsible for technical part, and Michael responsible for product management of the whole system. So probably you read the description about this talk. So it's the cause of this talk. It's about the what can you do when you know that your database are slow, and it's probably some wide words from your management or some other departments who says database slow, do something. And Percona is a company who are oriented and works done a lot of work on performance. So let's take a look what the some of practice we use and probably recommend for you. For today's our short agenda will be we'll discuss what solution do you need for troubleshooting and also for monitoring, and we'll take a short look to PMM and I give some explanation about it, what is Percona monitoring and management tool, and we also tries to look at one of the part of PMM. It's named Query Analytics application, who helps us to identify the slow queries and other troubles in database. Usually when you have some words about the database is slow, it's always the question, what is normal? What's not slow behavior or database? Because on my previous experience, I used to work as a web developer, as tech lead, also even as CTO of the company. So I understood every level of developers and management, and sometimes really management don't know some details of application, of infrastructure, and they said just system is slow, do something, you're responsible for tech part. And the main problem you need to identify what's slow is and what's not slow. So you need some tools to see what the normal behavior of your application. Also, on your application, always have some other parts, some other system which can impact on your app. It's operational system, it's some network latency or network connections, other applications, so load from them. And probably you can say that, I have a top for my operational system, or I have show process list for my database. So I can check it, and I can see inside and know what's going on. I don't need some additional solutions. But these tools and more advanced tools usually give you the snapshot of the situation on the current moment. But if you need to take a look at some period of time, you need to run this tool several times and see on what's going on. And if you need to investigate some smaller period of time, it will work probably for shorter period. But if you need to analyze what's do you solve the problem? What's the behavior of the problem, and what's other components of your system impact on your slow database? These tools probably didn't work well for you. So for solving this issue, we built the Percona monitoring and management tools. It's called PMM. So it's this free and open source product for monitoring databases, and it's not it's database agnostic, I would say. Yeah, so you can use it for MySQL, for MariaDB. It's even for MongoDB. It's also can monitor ProxySQL and much more systems, and even the behavior of your hardware nodes. So it can monitoring the CPU, network. It's PMM also. It's not SaaS solutions, at least for now. It's run on your own environment, so you can download Docker images or run it on Amazon AWS or use VirtualBox images. So you can download it, run it on your own hardware. You can isolate your data. It's very important for some PCI compliance and other things when you can't send some sensitive data outside your network. And also we made some improvements. So we built PMM on their open source components, but we made improve them. We also add some additional security on connection between modules of PMM. So even inside your own network, it's secured. And so PMM consists of two big components. It's PMM client and PMM server. PMM server contains their analytics system and data collection, and PMM server helps collect data from every node. So it's Linux metrics or database metrics, doesn't matter. And then we jump to one of the examples how you can see information from your database, from your queries inside PMM. So this is Query Analytics dashboard. So it's one of the two big parts of PMM server, because we have Query Analytics and we have Metrics Monitor. So Query Analytics designed to analyze queries you have in your own database. But now it's supported for analytics, for MySQL and MariaDB, so all, and also, of course, Percona server, so all MySQL-based databases, and soon it will be also supported MongoDB, so we're working on. And on this view, you can identify all your queries running on your server, see the load they made, and also count of queries and latency of all those queries. And it allows you to use data selector to analyze all your information during some period of time. So you can see that the first request updates of SB test, for example, taken there more than 70% of whole time during this period of time. So that you can easily see what's making the most load on your system. So what you can find on Query Analytics, it's the main information about query abstract, so some pattern of the query you can to analyze. Unique fingerprint for query without sensitive information inside. So I'll show it later if we have time. So we have some examples of queries, and we have fingerprints without the data. We also have the options to install PMM without collecting the real data, so you have only fingerprints of your queries without real data, without some request parameters you run. And one of the most desirable functions of query analytics, it's grand total time. So it's a time which every request on your database server consumes from server resources. So by this grand total time, you can actually see who's doing the most load on your system, on your database. And then analyzing these queries, you can go to developers, or if you already developer of this system, you can understand how to change this request. Because usually it's not an option just to remove some request, but you see where you can put most of your work to optimization and solve some load problems on your system. And also one of the critical metrics for queries, it's count of those queries, because it gives you some information about how frequently this query runs. And it's probably can be small query, but with a lot of runs, it's also cause some additional issues, and you can solve that on other screens. I'll show you. And latency, it's actually some statistic about timing of those queries, because some queries have stable latency, and others have different range of latency. So it also gives you information that this if the query haven't stable latency, that probably something other impacts him and these queries and makes it so hard. So fingerprints looks like queries with just questions without real data, but it gives you understanding what their application trying to do, what's information it's searching for or inserting. And also there is example tab where you can see some examples if you collecting them. So if you choose not collect the examples on installation process, you will don't see some examples. So if you're working with financial data, you probably don't need anyone to see some examples. And also this part of the queries gives gives information about indexes on these queries. And for every single query, we also collect the information related to this particular queries. So, for example, for these queries, we have not only the query count and time, we also have a log time for queries and amount of rows we send to the application. So it's also gives you information how many requests do you do and how many data it sends back. So if you're running the queries and it's making a lot of load but sends back just 1 or 2 rows, it's probably something wrong with your schema or your application, and you need to investigate how to rearrange this thing. So it gives you insights on your behavior. And also, if you have slow log or you're using Percona server to run your application, we have much more information inside. So we have a lot of information. Additionally, we have information about InnoDB metrics, and also information about using the query cache. So it's we're working on creating some larger knowledge base to give more explanation about all these metrics, because it's it's a lot of information, yeah, especially for beginners. But we're working on some providing additional information, additional understandings of our metrics and how you can improve your application and what all of those metrics means. And also, query analytics helps you analyze your application, your database and structure of your database, not go into database itself. So you don't need to log into database to understand what's also inside. You can use PMM also to see, even create table requests for your database, which usually used to understanding the nature of select we're working on. So you can see the created indexes and other information from database inside query analytics, just clicking on some of the tabs. And also we have information about stable status on indexes, and we have server summary info, which we have examples now. We haven't examples, which give you information about not only database but also about hardware where database running. So you can see how many cores this server have, what's his load, and what's going on this server in this particular moment. Not in historical. For historical information, we have some other parts named metrics monitor, and probably I switch to small demo. So this is the landing page of Percona monitoring and management tool, where you can access query analytics we just discussed. And query analytics is a part written on by Percona. It's open source, but we've done this as our own project. And there you can see all information shown in the slides. So list of queries, detailed information about queries, explain status. And also, so there you can analyze queries. And to understand what's going on also on your system in that particular moment, we have metrics monitor. So this part of PMM made as a combination of two beautiful open source products, Prometheus and Grafana. So both of them presented there on this conference. You can visit their more detailed presentation there, but I've just have short time to show you how we implement everything there in Percona. So, for example, so we have a big list of database created by Percona engineers for analyzing some situations in some types of databases. So we now have different dashboards for MySQL, for MongoDB databases, and probably just look at the basic MySQL overview. So interesting. Yeah. So Prometheus itself, it's a monitoring product. It's like a application to monitor infrastructure. He scrapes information from nodes and store it in his own database, in his own structure. They're not time series, but like time series databases. And Grafana, it's used to display and draw fancy graphs based on information from Prometheus and other. You can also use other database storage for information displayed using Grafana. And actually, I think the Grafana is one of the best products for now for display information, because usually, especially as their developers or DBAs, we have some Cacti or other systems which haven't not so good graphs, and you can't show those graphs to higher management because they don't understand these tables. So Grafana probably solves these problems, and they made graphs visual and good looking. So in PMM and metrics monitor, you can see not only their current situation, you can see their history of metrics, and you also can see that when you're investigating some abnormal, some anomaly in one graph, you also have the bar showing this time on other graphs, and you can scroll something and actually go deeper to lower resolution. For now, the default resolutions we used in PMM to scrape metrics, and it's 1 second. So we collect everything every second. There's a lot of information inside Prometheus. You can explore. But we made several dashboards in PMM, which we think are, and they're based on experience of our DBAs. They're most important and most valuable for people. And so let me go to the end presentation. So Grafana also can use, as I said, different data source to take data. You can even use Elasticsearch. You can define some template variables and use them to build your own dashboards. If you need some additional information for your specific metrics, you even can make some additional exporter for your application if you need to collect some metrics from your application and make this exporter available in Prometheus. And performance. Yeah, and one of the probably most important features always for monitoring, it's alerting, because it's good to see what was before on your system, what's going on, but it's also good to have some notification when you're going to sleep to check something which wrong on your system. So Grafana also provides in PMM using now for Grafana alerting. So you can add some metrics, and you can set what their value of metrics you need to be notified. Notification now can send to Slack or to email and HipChat, and I think now it's more than 10 integration to alerting. So you can choose your own system to manage those alerts. And distribution of PMM. So we distribute PMM in a Docker, which now most the popular way. VirtualBox, it's not the production ready because it's not the best way to distribute software for production, but it's good for development, for some presentation, because yesterday we done some workshop, and we use VirtualBox images because it's much easier, and you don't need some additional work to install. And also we have AVS, EMIS, and probably our images in a month or a bit. Something will be available on AVS Marketplace. So now it's only AMI images in all regions. And probably we're having time. So questions? No? Yeah. In PMM, we use Prometheus as a backend, but if you're using Grafana, you can add some additional. So if you install PMM and we collect the data to Prometheus, but if you also have some additional data storage you want to use in Grafana, you also can create dashboards.
Just add a data source.
Yeah, just additives.
Or freezes. Would the query analyzer be a tool to try and find out what killed it?
So if your server is so busy and can give some information, so probably in Prometheus there will be some white spaces because he can't get some information, and query analytics collect information on node, and when he send it to Khan application. So in queries you'll get some delays in the results, so you don't get real-time results, but you get them later. Of course, it's if you're not crashed and not die full.
Usually maximum connections, so it stops accepting connections for.
Yeah. So next time when our client will be able to connect to the server, he sends information to Query Analytics, and you saw those graphs. We actually do have, as I know, there are some problems when you have a lot of nodes to monitor. But I don't know that hundreds of tables and queries will be a problem. So there's some questions about scaling on Prometheus, but in the amount of nodes he need to scrape. But for Query Analytics, it's probably will work okay. How much load? Yeah. It depends on performance of your server. So we recommend to have at least about, I think, 10 megabytes of memory for exporter on node, and about gigabyte space on the server to store information about one node. So it's collect information from everywhere where you put PMM client to collect information. So you can collect information from server itself and from other node.
As long as you add to the server.
Yeah. So.
Not necessarily to be the same.
Right, but the client has to be on your MySQL server.
But it also can be not MySQL, just application server.
You can. Okay.
Yeah. We support Aurora. So we just now working on some easy supporting of Aurora for clients, because now you need anyway to set up PMM client somewhere and ask him to monitor to collect data from your Aurora instance.
It's possible now to
Yeah, yes. We even have a dashboard for Aurora metrics. Yeah, probably I can send you some links to a tutorial where it's also good described on Grafana tutorials how to install alerting, and we're also working on improvement this functionality. So I think actually alerting improvement in alerting is one of our main goal for next time. Yeah. So probably if someone else have additional questions, I'll be available there. We need to clear a room. Thank you.